Hello everyone, welcome to Odisha State Open University. I am Dr. Tirsajani Panda. Welcome you to the Sociology Department. So today's topic is social structure, and basically I am focusing upon the concept of social structure. So what do you understand when I say social structure? Basically, the term social structure comes from the biology word, and that term is coined by Herbert Spencer while describing the organic analogy. Then what is organic analogy? He just drawn a similarity between the social structure and the human being, which is basically made of organs. So it is basically based on the idea that whole is greater than the sum total of the parts. After World War II, the term social structure basically fashionably used by the many people to denote almost any ordered arrangement of social phenomena. And when you say social organization, sometimes it's used synonymously with social structure. Then, what is social structure? How other sociologists look at it as a definition, and what the other theories tells about it. Let's get deep into it. The concept of social structure basically are defined by fifth that social organization is concerned with choices and decisions involved in actual social relations, while the concept of social relations deal with more fundamental social structure. But what Brown has to say about it? He said social structure refers to the arrangement of persons. But what Pitcher said the social structure is the basic unit is family, not individual. But Nadel seems to be slightly disagree with the other scholars. Then he said it's not nothing but the pattern or network of social relationship obtaining between the actors in their capacity of playing roles and relative to one another. So basically he defined each individual as actors and who define or play the roles in the pattern or in a network of social relationships. So what are the major views that is concerned with the very idea of social structure which is related to society? As you know, there are several theories associated that is with the social structure, and in sociology you have many schools of thought which are based on the social views. Then first let us talk about what structural functionalist has to say about social structure. The basic idea of structure as functionalists have defined stand for drawing the correlation or analogy between the biological organism and the social structure. What basically they have defined as organism that coordinately function. Similarly, social structure also coordinately function to define or the value society. For example, your hands are working, your eyes are working, your legs are working. To make you run as a human being or to be functional, all parts of your body should work coordinately. Similarly, the society or the social structure basically consists of economy, social, political, and religious, which are basically the pillars of social structure. And to run the society, all these pillars should work in a integrated and coordinated way so that the society can run smoothly and function optimally for the betterment of the individuals. So, what Herbert Spencer said, he first used the term to draw analogy between the biological structure and the social structure. So, this is basically derived from the biology. That's why the sociology is considered as the queen of all sciences. Because to be a sociologist, you have to be integrated or you have to understand many other subjects, which is basically biology, astronomy, physics, etc., then only you can be a better sociologist. So what Durkheim said, he said that social structure in an implicit sense while discussing social facts in a collective conscience. While Herbert Spencer said, and also Redcliffe Brown agreed to the same, that the idea of structure functionalist in which structure part is social morphology and the functional part is a social physiology. He talked of interpersonal relationship which is called dyadic relationship basically. So what other theorists have to say about it? Let's talk about the structuralist perspective of social structure. Structuralists viewed structure as a model. As Claude Lévi-Strauss said, social structure has nothing to do with empirical reality, but it should deal with the models built after it. He considered social relationship as raw material to build social structure. So, the society or the social structure basically consists of web of social relationship. It's social relationship between the individuals. It is interpersonal, is it intrapersonal? And this relationship basically constitutes society. It makes society lively. As Louis Dumont applied the structuralist method to study Indian society with the typology of purity and pollution. He studied caste system basically, and in India based on the fundamental social principles of hierarchy or social stratification per se. So according to him, the principle of hierarchy is caste system and he opposed by the principle of equality. So when there is hierarchy, there is stratification in the society. Obviously, we have to stand in opposition to the concept of equality. Then this is what Louis Dumont has to say about structural perspective of social structure. Then what else? There is Marxist perspective as well. What Marxist has to say about the social structure? As you all know, the Marxism is basically based on the economic determination. So what economics determination based on social structure that has to be focused upon? Marxist said put emphasis on the structure basically in terms of conflict relationship between the haves and the have-nots. As Karl Marx lightly used the word the bourgeois and the proletariat. Then Karl Marx said, free from the organic analogy between the structural functionalist, he was very much in not aligned with the very idea of analogy, that is the very idea of structural functionalist. But what Karl Marx said, he talked about the relations of production as constitute economic structure. Here I need to mention that Karl Marx talked about the forces of production and the means of production. So every society consists of the superstructure and the base structure. What is the base structure consist of? Is basically consist of the forces of production and the means of production. While the social or the superstructure that basically consists of the ideology, religion, belief system, and when the society based on the process of production and means of production moves rapidly due to the technological changes, at the same time the elements that exist in the superstructure, that is the belief, ideology, they moves very slowly. So in that scenario, the superstructure and the base structure that basically conflict with one another, and that gives rise to a new social structure. That is what the Marxist has to say about the social structure. Then let's have just a quick recap so that you can recall everything in a one mood. What? The social structure. Then the social structure has basically three theories, that is social functionalist, structuralist and Marxist. What structural functionalists said? They have drawn the analogy between the biology, physical being and the social structure. And who are the scholars? That is, they have an analogy between the biological parts and the structure. There is Durkheim, who drawn the social fact and conscience, and that is Radcliffe Brown, who talked about the parts of the and basically talked about the social morphology. Similarly, just for a quick recap of the entire study that we are doing today, that structuralists say is free from empirical reality, focused on the model. Who are the scholars? They say there is caste system of purity and pollution. There is social structure, which is basically composed of social relationship. What Marcus then said, free from biology, focused on the relation of production. Then Karl Marx, he said structure and function and relation of production. So this is what basically the structural functionalist and structuralist and Marxist has to say about the social structure. In the subsequent videos, we will look into other parts of the social structure, and others will also cover other scholars. Till then, signing off. This is Tirthajani Panda from Odisha State Open University. Thank you.